Yo, 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 what is up, gang? OCD Mikey Hi-Fi Guy here for another edition of the Mikey Live Show. And bringing it live from Atlanta, the ATL, Georgia. And bringing it live for you all. We're going to let the people chalk up in the queue here. Looks like we got a dozen of you so far. So we'll let people catch up. And I will go over. I'm going to, this open season, you guys can go ahead and shoot whatever questions you want. Ask me about the show because I don't even know how to approach it, and you guys can ask me about the audio, about AXPONA 2025 and what I thought, and to ask me about certain rooms I went in and all that kind of stuff. For the most part, my view has not changed. It's and I don't mean to, sound negative or whatever, but I'm just going to give it to you straight. It's the same old shit. There's nothing really exciting or new or whatever. And they'll sit and try and make it seem like there's new things happening, and it's not really new. It looks like Borison introduced a subwoofer because they finally realized their stuff needs bass. And so they added a subwoofer, which ruins the slim profile of the Borison. That's what made it great, was that slim profile. Now you have to have this huge honking black box in the room right next to it, which kind of ruins the whole beauty of the Borison. But I guess they heard us all complaining about how the lack of bass those things had. So they added a subwoofer evidently this year. I saw that in Tom Martin's deal. I didn't actually see in the rooms. I won't go in the rooms of Borison. It's a long story, but I just, I don't really want to go into their rooms. I don't care about that brand. There was some other interesting things. It was weird. There was more things that I saw that surprised me from the low end than there was from the high end. The highest end stuff disappointed me, and the things that impressed me were the cheap stuff. Some brands that I never pay attention to. One of them was let's see if I can wipe that off. One of them was Legacy. I never like Legacy. I just they're when they had all their speakers next to each other and all that shit, that stuff just never really sounded that great to me. I heard the Whispers, this time Whisper S or something like that, and then there are other big $100,000 ones or $90,000 ones, which are kind of wacky. They have drivers going up and sideways. They got two outward going mid ranges and a mid range going up, and two backward firing subwoofers, and then they make all that shit work together with DSP. And so the thing that it sounded in that big ass room that it was in, it actually did very well. So that room surprised me. I went into Legacy and I was surprised by that interesting little wavelet thing. And they've got their own little deal going on. It's definitely not typical. They're using DSP and they're making it work. And it does seem to work pretty well. I don't know how it works in a home. I don't know how it works in other rooms. See, that's the thing with the shows. If I go into a room at one show and I see something that sucks or something that's great, I cannot say that brand either sucks or is great from that one show, because all it means is this year in this room, these guys pulled it off. That's all it means. It doesn't mean it's a great brand. It means it was pulled off this year in this room. And I'll look for it next show. And then you look for it next show and next show and next show. And you see, and maybe if you see it 4 or 5 times in a row and it always sounds good, then you've got something you're cooking with. Like, for instance, Avant-Garde, Angie from American Sound in Canada. Avant-Garde sounded freaking phenomenal. It always sounds great. It's always one of my favorite rooms. And this year did not disappoint. It's killer stuff. And she sets it up well. So we can say in Angie's room, Angie knows what the hell she's doing, and her room sounded great. And then other ones, they vary. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. So Legacy was one that normally doesn't get me, and I thought it was interesting. So, hats off to Bill and his gang, because in that room it sounded had the most realism. It seems like it's funny. You know, it used to be all the rooms. The problem was it was too analytical in all the rooms, you know, and then people talk about being analytical. And so, um, you know, I think the manufacturers or the room designer, they try and bring it the other way, right? They're, oh, it's too much, you know, because in my speculation, I think many of these dealers and manufacturers just don't know how to set up rooms. They may even be a damn manufacturer and they don't know how to set up a room. They're good at engineering stuff, but they don't know how to set up acoustics in a room, right? And so maybe they hear, you know, oh, it's too analytical. So they try and fix it, and then they make it dark. They go too far, and then it becomes dark and veiled and no presence. So the trick is making it detailed without making it aggravating or excruciating or analytical. How can you make it detailed and still be smooth? Detailed and engage you but not hurt your ears. That's the trick. It's a black art, man, and not everybody knows how to do it. But I do. That's what the systems I sell, I guarantee now. I got some coffee here because I feel like shit. And I want to make sure I have enough energy. So I'm drinking freaking coffee at 9 o'clock to try and make sure I make it through this thing. But as soon as I start talking to you guys, I think I get some juice. So Jasper's been waiting for this, baby. Nikki, what's up, man? Welcome back. Nick, I know someone with a 57 gold top. So if you got a customer for a 57 gold top Les Paul, one of my tribe members has one for sale. I know it's got to be a big buyer, but if anybody knows of one, maybe you know a band or somebody where they've got tons of cash and one of the guitarists wants a 57 Les Paul. Hey, all. Hey, Mikey, bet you're glad to be home. I am, man. I've been just resting. Holy shit. Trying to rest anyways. Welcome back, Mikey. Hope you enjoyed the food. I did. The food was good, man. It's always good in Chicago. I go off and then I come back and then it's like back to the Spartan. Now I just eat one time a day and I'm not out looking for the hot rod foods. I'm just eating like healthy shit one time a day. And a lot of water. What show? The biggest audio show in the United States, one time per year, called AXPONA, which is the Audio Exposition North America. Happens in Chicago once a year. It's the biggest thing for audio, and it's a freaking zoo. And it was a total zoo. This had a lot of attendance. So on one hand, it feels like, look, you know, from a, you know, if you want to be where the action's at, you do a room here, but there's so many rooms, it's easy that your room just gets overlooked and passed by. So coming here is it's both good because you got a ton of people and the other shows don't have a ton of people, but the other shows as an attendee, you're going to be able to spend more quality time in the rooms, which you really can't do here. If you spend any sort of quality time, you'll just miss several floors. It'll be over before you're done, before you start. Greetings, Bob. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. California tribe. Steve DeHardy, Florida tribe. What's up, brother? Ziggy, Chicago tribe. And Mikey's best of show winner is, oh, man. I'd say it's a tie between Angie's Room, Avant-Garde, and Audio Note UK. And Audio Note UK. The the Legacy Room had probably the best presence. Like the music sounded like really like it was real. However, he was playing his music. We got to play a couple tunes in. But it's hard for me to give best in show to a one-off kind of a thing, you know, like that was my first time I've ever felt like that in Legacy. Like, would I run out and buy it? No, I wouldn't, you know, because I don't trust that just one time means it's great, you know, that great. I'd have to spend more time and but it was a good one, you know. So, but I definitely enjoyed, you know, Avant-Garde is better. I enjoyed it more. For me, I think it was a better experience. And then the most fun experience was Audio Note UK. When you go in there and hang with Peter, it's just fun. We're just having fun, and it's just he's so he's so not an audiophile guy. Even though he is, right? He is, but he's so not hung up with it. He just flicks the dust off the stylus with his finger, and he pulls the needle off the record and it goes, and he doesn't go, oops, he doesn't care, and so it's just fun to see someone that just doesn't give a shit like that they're not trying to be all proper and audiophile, nose in the air shit. He's really kind of down to earth. Christian, forget the show. What's the best meal of the weekend? There were several high points, Christian. There was several high points. One was the dinner we had with Angie. We had a tribe dinner assembled with the help of our Chicago tribe. Andy from Andy's Sound Factory, which is our newest location in Chicago, in the city. So anybody in Chicago, we've got 2 locations in Chicago City, and we're about to have a third in the suburbs. So we've already got 3 tribe locations in Chicago. We're taking it over. It's ours. And what was I going to say? And so Andy put together a dinner at a place called Azador Bastion, which is a Basque steakhouse. And I'll show you some of the photos from it. And again, I'll figure out how to. Okay, here we'll start like this. Okay, so here was the seafood platter. They bring that. Okay, those shrimp off on the right, $50 a piece, man. They're flown in like overnight from Spain or wherever the hell. They're live caught in a big eye. I can't remember what the hell that thing was. On the bottom was a turbo, rockfish or something like that up there, that red one. And then this is a tuna. Whoops. Oops. That thing is a tuna, that hunk right there. That's tuna belly. That's toro, like a hunk of tuna belly, man. It was wicked. This is another close up. There's the tuna. You can see it better. And then there's a langostino at the back there. The turbo on the bottom we ate. Isn't that a weird fish? Like they go flat like that, and then their damn other eye rotates up. It's the weirdest shit in nature. Almost as weird as male seahorses carrying the babies. Okay, go this way. There's the steaks. Okay, so you can see we got to choose from these. They're different. This is called a Masters, 30 months. Oh, it says, whoops, Masters. Come on, baby. Trying to get this to focus here. Having problems. Come on, phone. Oh, it's getting it's focusing on the damn reflection is what it's doing. Silly. Okay, those were the steaks. There we go. Masters, 30 months, 2.25 pounds. These are the age of the cow. The cow was 30 months. Up there is Simmenthal, and then Akushi, which is a Japanese, clearly. Holstein is that other one. And then this one was a 7-year-old cow it's called Galiciana, 7 years old cow on the far right. So we had 4 of them. We had those, and then we had these were morels. They cooked the morels for us. Fresh morels were in season. That was just a close up of some of the akauishi, whatever the hell, 32-month-old cow. And then we had this bastard, dude. This was a Japanese A5. Okay, that's a $500, $580 steak right there. Ribeye, bone-in ribeye. Okay, so this was A5 grade. What I heard at the show from a doctor that's friends with one of our tribe members in Wisconsin, he said A3 is really the sweet spot, which made a ton of sense because they're graded A1, 2, 3, 4, 5 based on the fat content, the marbling. A5 has the most marbling. That stuff is so rich. It's like beef butter. It's gnarly. Like you eat it and you just want one little slice. You definitely could not. No way you could eat that whole steak. No way you could even eat half the steak. It's way too rich. It's too much. It's overindulgence of fat and in many ways it could not be feel good in your stomach, after you eat that thing. But it was crazy. And then this was the Iberico ham, so a Serrano, like that they shave. Okay, so this stuff tastes like the pigs eat acorns, so it's really nutty tasting. Here are some anchovies with sliced garlic. Then we also had sardines, which were on a like a not a pesto, but more like a chimichurri kind of. Those were good. Here's Seth eating his one of those shrimp. It's hard. Again, I probably won't. There we go. We got Seth and Isaac right next to him. We're at the chef's table, so they normally seat 2 to 4 people. He looks like he's trying to figure that one out. And we got the chef's table, which is at the back, and it's supposed to have like 8 people. We were able to get 12 in. We had to squeeze people in, and they accommodated us. There is the turbo after it was done. This was some of the fish with a roasted artichoke. That's a piece of turbo. Here's the gang. We had Jeff Rowland with us on the right. Off to my right was Don Dietz, our Detroit chapter. Big John at the head of the table. Jared Golden, our North Chicago chapter. Andy with his thumbs up. He's also North Chicago. Evan right there in the white shirt, who was leading us on this journey. Then we've got Isaac right there. And next to Isaac was Seth, but Seth is missing. There's on the end of the table. Well, we'll go around to Sean's on the end of the table. That's one of our guests. And then Mickey to the left of Sean, another guest, and then Angie from American Sound in Canada, right on the left there. She was sitting next to me. There's bone marrow puree, potato puree. There's the vegetables, which were freaking out of this world. I mean, it's weird how you're like, how does a vegetable taste so good? This was the steak after they finished it. I can't remember which one that was. Trying to get this thing to, there you go. Just delicious. Like, oh my God, type steak. This was another one. And then we just all shared it. We just did it. This was one that was done Pittsburgh style, the way Andy likes it. Let's see. There we go. This was the dessert. That was creme fraiche or something like that. Some sort of cream with like caramelized sugar discs in the middle. Ricotta cheesecake, lemon ricotta cheesecake, which was phenomenal. And then a chocolate mousse like tort cake thing, whatever. These were weird. I saw these at the show. Did you guys see what these things were? They were drivers all stacked up. Like, look at that. This is a 20-way speaker. I'm like, how many ways? Is that a 5-way? He's like a 20-way. Every single one of those drivers has a different frequency. And there's 20 amplifier channels. That was crazy. It was hard to tell what it sounded like because they were playing just weird music and not at any sort of a volume, and people were talking. You couldn't really hear shit. So he's in Sacramento, though, and I will, when I go to Sacramento to do Bob's system, and Bob, you can join if you want, buddy. I'm going to go to listen to that guy's place, and then I'll get the controls, and I'll be able to play the music and see what it's all about. But he explained how it makes a perfect, I don't know, wave of some sort. I was tuning out. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's doing something special. This room was the biggest disappointment of the whole show. A $2 million room that had, you can see the rack of Wadax over here, the spectacle, trophy acquisition stuff. And they bill this shit as the highest end stuff, and it failed, man. It was a total failure room. It was just overbased, dark, and not no presence. And they failed. It's sad. They're not doing our industry any favors. They're really making our industry look like we don't know what the fuck we're doing with shit like this. When you put a rig together like that in a room, it was sad, man. Really sad. That's a big brand. They're big, amps. I got to say, I met the guy from D'Agostino, their sales rep, tall, blonde dude. He was cool. I like the guy. The amps are not, in a weird way, instead of being analytical, which is what I would expect, it was exactly the opposite. With the Wilsons, however, downstairs, the combo was good. It was musical. Here, it just lost me. There was nothing. In fact, and they kept playing songs that were bass-heavy audiophile songs, and I was like, look, can you play some acoustic music so we can judge realism? And he put some acoustic music on that was just like the sorriest. It's like, come on, man, really? This isn't acoustic music. This is instrumental, but weird. It just wasn't proper, just acoustic guitar or acoustic, singer songwriter shit. Here's a picture. Whoops. Here is a picture of Playback Designs MPD-8 being used in the ATC room. And the ATC room sounded great. And I'm like, oh, no wonder they borrowed an MPD-8 from somebody. This was Pearl, the Sibelius, Pearl Audio Sibelius or whatever speakers, those little guys. That was pretty cool. A lot of sound coming out of little teeny, whatever, 4.5-inch drivers. So that was cool. I listened to, this was Dart Zeal with Stenheim. Sounded pretty good and sumptuous, seems like Dart Zeal may be having some manufacturing done in China, which is, I also heard about Griffin. That was some news. There's some gossip, if you will, is that these two companies may be having new investment money coming in from a Chinese conglomerate that will probably start making some of the parts for these things. And it could be the end of those two brands as we know them, as they turn into Chinese Drek. Who knows what'll happen? They're also looking at automotive, it said, for Griffin. Here's Alberto's AGD. Sounded great as usual, but not as good as with the Fisher & Fisher. I think the Fisher & Fisher, I do not think the room that year, it did not sound like it had sumptuous bass. It sounded a little bit on the thin side to me with the Rosso Fiorentino. But if he ever wants Fisher & Fisher back, we'll put Fisher & Fisher in the room for him and really do him justice. There was our acoustics. He made some speakers, and the room sounded really nice in there, solution integrated. And he built that room inside the room. So that's what that thing is he built it all with the walls. It's pretty cool. See what else. Here was the group. Ziggy I'll start from the right. Ziggy, let's see. How do Ziggy Chicago? What do I say? Chicago Harley guy. How do I describe Ziggy? Everybody's got a nickname. I put something with Ziggy, but Ziggy's just Chicago Enforcer. Let's just keep him Chicago Enforcer. And we got Andrew behind him, Andrew the motorcycle racer, who races sport bikes and works at Sport Bike Track Time. So if you ever want to go learn how to ride, there's Andrew right behind Ziggy in the blue shirt. And then Don at the back. Don Dietz is Detroit. He's a Detroit artist and then Big John to the left across the table. Yours truly, Mikey, smoking a stogie. Then Seth from New Orleans, who is works at the museum in New Orleans. He's a photographer. And then Isaac on the left, who's local. He's also a photographer. Isaac was taught photography in New York City. has his stuff published. These two cats run around with Leica cameras like over their shoulders. It's funny. They're that into it, man. It's like an accessory for them. They got a Leica on. I wear watches. They like watches too, but they've got Leicas. Here's a wicked Lambo we saw outside the cigar lounge. That's where we all were hanging. So that was a Chicago car, which I can't actually is a Miami car. Yeah, so that's it. That's basically the show. Oh, this was Benchmark and some new 10 audio planar magnetics. It was all right. There was the Legacy Whispers. That was that room. That was pretty good, man. I mean, I sat down, I went, okay. And then here's the crazy ones in the Legacy room that had all the DSP and everything on them. Actually, both of them had DSP. There's Mikey with Bill Duddleston. Oops. I took that picture just because I have some guys in the tribe, one in particular that just is all about Legacy. Here was Win Audio. That was a great room. That's usually good. So that was one of the big rooms. Here's the crazy ass turntable. See, all those cylinders are neodymium magnets, and there's coils underneath. And electromagnetism spins the turntable. It doesn't have a motor on it. Doesn't have a belt to drive, anything like that. Look at this tone arm apparatus, gold plated and carbon fiber. It's $250,000. Look at that cart. Like, let's see if I can get close on that. The cartridge is crazy, man. There you go. Look at that. Like, what? It's all gold. You know, this is what you get when you buy something, when you buy a turntable for $250. You get that stuff. And again, this whole apparatus, just amazing. Kind of, they spent a lot of time developing that. There's another one of that thing, the platter. Yep, and you can see all the copper coils and those magnets. It's pretty wild how it works. Here was Goldman out in the hall. Total minimalism, just Swiss minimalism. Kind of cool. Oh, that was a picture of someone. Oh, there's some of the pizza. We had Neapolitan. I had 3 different styles of pizza there, and they were great. This was the Neapolitan night. We had Neapolitan pizza. We had deep dish pizza, or pan pizza, and then we had tavern style pizza. Here's Mike and Angie from the dinner. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. Angie's serious. She's dealing out some knowledge. Angie'll just be talking, and then some serious. You got to listen to her because knowledge just comes forth. There's Johnny giving us. I'm telling a story. That was at the cigar lounge. Here's another shot. There's Roland right front and center, and Big John, and then Don, and then I'm taking a picture right there of the steaks because I'm so freaking impressed. Let's see. Yeah. Here's how the rig looks today. I've got 2 solid state amps in there, and I'll be hooking them up for biamp configuration so we can do vertical biamp on each side. So yeah, that was just kind of in the wrap up. There was great meals. Yeah, great meals. The pizza, the first deep dish Pequods was freaking amazing. And then but we had it hot, right? But then the next morning I had it. It was not good. I don't know what happened, but that deep dish pizza had too much bread in the morning. It just was jacked up. I can't believe it. Normally I love cold pizza. Then we got Tavern Pizza, the Ziggy place that he knew. What was it called? Some guy's name. It's like Roberts or something like that. But we had that, and it was Tavern Pizza. Like, you go up and you pick your seat, and you go up and you get pitchers of beer in the plastic pitcher, and you order at the counter, and then you go grab your thing and bring it to the table. That shit was good, man. I'm not telling you. I did not, from the looks of the place, I'm like, oh, this is going to be nasty pizza. But it was good, man. And it was crunchy and thin crust, and it was really good. And I had that shit in the morning. and that was really good in the morning. And then we had that Neapolitan pizza the day after. I can't believe I had pizza 3 different times, Italian one night. When I go to Chicago, I eat Italian. What can I say? That's what you do up there, is eat Italian. Okay, so I know you say it all the time, but everything they have is the same wood box of Trivers. Nothing seemed interesting except the more attainable stuff. Okay, you're talking about, Neil, from your experience there. How's it going, Mikey Tribe? Good. David, how are you doing, buddy? Did I hear audio research set up with wide baffled Sonus Faber? Yeah, that's called a Stradivarius. Not that great. It was okay, but not that great. The from Quintessence, that was a Quintessence rig, and from Quintessence, the one that I liked was the Wilson. Weird enough, man. I don't normally like Wilson, but that room was the best room. It beat the shit out of that audio research room. Same company, and then there was also a Boulder Wilson right next to the D'Agostino Wilson, and it sounded typical Wilson, spitty. Like, I mean, you just don't put Boulder with Wilson. Who puts those two together? Like, holy shit, wake up. It's spitty and nasty. I don't know. You just never put those two together. You know who puts those two together? A dealer. That's who puts those two together. What are your thoughts on Martin speakers? Martin are great speakers. However, at the show, we went to the room with Martin and Goldman, two highly respected brands. Should have been phenomenal, and it was not. We went in and I was like, oh, bummer. And then I walked out going, look, those are two of the most respected high brands, and that sounded like ass turned inside out. Like, it was anemic. It could have been the record they were playing, because I know when you guys play records, there's shitty pressings and there's good pressings, so we could blame it on a shitty pressing, I guess. But it did not stand to the name of the brand. Martin should be blowing your ass away, because it's beautiful stuff. It's beautifully made. It's expensive as hell. That shit should be like, you should be dumbfounded by it. And we were not. So it was kind of a bummer. But I like Martin's. Hey, Tribe, checking in from Iowa. What's up, Paul, man? Paul, have you hooked up with the Tribe? I met another guy from Des Moines at the show, and I said, dude, call me and I'll put you in touch with my boys up in Iowa. Paul is Iowa Tribe, man. We've got shit in Iowa now, which is great, man. We're going to have it in all the places where the normal dealers don't exist. We will exist. So that's pretty cool. That big smile Peter Q gave you in the audio note room was great. It was cool kind of nod without words, saying something like, damn, sounds good. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Peter's good shit. He invited me to England. Come and hang in England, and so I would love to, and maybe we will. Hey, Tribe. Hey, Mikey. I listen to my AA DAC every day, but I never shut off the power on the back. That's okay. I leave it on standby. Is that a problem? Not whatsoever, man. I've got another guy, Dan from Nebraska, that contacts me, dude, almost every day, telling me how much he loves his AA DAC. This AA DAC makes more people happy than, I mean, it's crazy. People absolutely love it. And Brandon was here today, and he listened, and he loved it as well. He loves his AA DAC. And he thanked me for all that. So it was cool. My thoughts about the ATC room. The ATC room was good. It was great when we first came in, but then we played some songs and we exposed its weakness. We were listening to powered monitors in the front room. I think they may have had something in the back room that was maybe bigger, but we listened to the power monitors in the front room, and it seemed like we kind of sort of found where its limit was. I think it was just lack of bass, which is what you'd expect for a monitor, unless it's a Fisher SN70. So, so yeah, it was okay. It was cool. I didn't want to buy them. I didn't want them, but it was cool. Hey, Mikey, nice seeing you at the show. Good seeing you, Julio. I really enjoyed it. Lots of good stuff. My preference is still Fisher and Fisher. For me, I thought sounded great until I saw the price. For me, I thought sounded great until I saw the price. What? What are you talking about? Because it sounds like you're saying you think Fisher and Fisher is too expensive. That's how I'm reading this, and I know you're not trying to say that. So um why don't explain that a little better, Julio? Maybe you do. Down. Dan, hey Mikey and Tribe, there he is, right there, Nebraska. Dan, enjoying my new AA DAC. It's awesome. You know it, man. Everybody loves that thing. It's the bomb. I've got a stack of them sitting here, so you guys want to get on it, do it. And they've all got Bluetooth, and I'm giving you the Bluetooth for free. I was more surprised by the less expensive stuff. Sounded pretty good for the price, bringing value into the equation for many. Excited to pull the trigger on Fishers later this year. Yeah, buddy, for sure, man. You will be very surprised about the Fisher and Fisher. They're amazing. The speaker that had all exposed drivers going up line, largest 15 of them. Did you understand that one? No, I didn't. And they explained it to me and I still didn't understand it. But whatever. I don't care. How does it sound? But I couldn't really listen to it. Thoughts about Chesky Audio? It was great, man. Luca has some great stuff for $1,000 a pair, man. He's the guy to support if you want your $1,000 a pair of speakers, man. Luca's the guy. What's up, Haywood? Carlos, I wouldn't worry about leaving a DAC on unless it's a tube type. Yes, exactly. Did you hear the key audio cardioid speakers? No, I did not. I did not. I know about those guys from before. And I did hear the Dutch and Dutch as cardioid speakers as well. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Do your bowels need to get acclimated to different foods from different regions in the country? No. Nope. No, but it's just if you eat something that is as heavy duty as a Japanese A5 Kobe, actually it was Kagoshima. So it wasn't Kobe region, it was Kagoshima. You're going to be fat laden. And so if you ate a whole one of those steaks, you might get sick to your stomach, right? So you wouldn't eat a whole one. You'd only eat like a couple. Maybe you could process that shit, but you're asking for trouble. So no, in the United States, no, not at all. No, you don't. How many rooms was there at Expona? Like 200. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll ask around about the 57 Gold Top. There's a couple well-known artists with money that bring their stuff into the shop for repairs or getting ready for tours. Cool. It's a collector's item, that's for sure. Mikey, how do brands cheat at shows? DSP, hidden treatments, hidden subs, all of the above, man. Even as far as using certain recordings that are special masters that nobody else can get. And then they're playing these special tracks that you can't even get, sometimes they can hide treatments behind curtains. Sometimes they can hide subs behind curtains. DSP is something they won't tell you about. I heard about somebody using magnet pans in the show that they had modified, and they were using it to sell their subwoofers. So they were saying like, listen to how well our subwoofers make the magnet pan sound, but they actually had modified the magnet pans. That was the hearsay. So there's all sorts of shit they're up to. You got to understand this industry is full of a bunch of hustlers in many ways. There's some good people, but then there's definitely the hustlers. Maybe it was a mushroom Saturday morning. Yeah, that could have been it, man. Stop eating my regional food. You making me miss my country. What is your regional food, man? Oh, you're from Spain. Okay. So that's Galician food there, but brother. Or Basque food. Yes, it was a disappointment. Yeah, that you're talking about that magical room. Sweet, I'm there. 20-way speakers. Yeah, it was weird. And then where are you gonna put those in your house? They're so freaking ugly. It's like you guys got to wrap those with fabric so that people can't see that shit because it's goofy looking, man. Nobody's gonna have that, Agree on the Magico. I was so blown away by their lack of care with their presentation. Totally, bro. Isn't it weird? I mean, it's like you're embarrassed for them. You're like, oh my God, You guys are this huge, big, glitzy, like famous, like brand, and you guys are doing this like a demo, and like, oh my God. And then I actually heard people trying to say, like reviewers trying to say like that it was good. And I'm like, man, you guys got your head up your ass. You can't hear shit. And then I talked to some insider. I had people coming to me unanimously saying, "Oh my God, biggest disappointment, biggest disappointment. Oh my God, what a bummer." So they failed, man. It was a magical fail. Now, it doesn't mean the speakers suck. It doesn't mean WADAX sucks. It means the people that put the room together failed at fucking putting that room together, man. They did not know how to do it. Um, you know, sorry, that's the truth of the matter. It was not done well. And it's too bad, man. They should know what the fuck they're doing. If they should have put smaller speakers in that room, or just done it, but in their zeal to big dick everybody else, they fuck up. They're trying to show that they have a 2 million, they're the most expensive system at the show, and they're all in such a zeal to do that they fuck up the sound. But what's the funny part is the people that buy that rig probably don't give a shit about the sound. I'm sure it's an acquisition. It's a trophy acquisition. They don't really care about how it sounds, man. As long as it just looks expensive and as long as it is expensive. So the S3 sounded better in their Hayward facility, I'm sure. So what makes the Chicago location a hi-fi tribe destination? It makes having no, not having speakers. It makes it's people that own the place saying you can have people come to my house and I'll sell for you and take a commission. So if you're going to have people, Dan, you told me you don't want people coming into your room, into your living room, because it's a mess. So, if you ever expressed that you wanted to be a location, then you'd be a location. But you told me you don't want people coming to your place, bro. This is strangers coming into your house, checking your shit out. Okay. So if you're willing to do that, which Andy is and Jared is, then you just tell me. That's all. That's all it takes. You're a fucking complainer, aren't you? It's okay. I love you, brother. I'll give you a hug anyways. You feels left out. You're not left out, brother, but you told me that you didn't even want to us to show your living room when we were doing a live stream. So you're going to want strangers coming to your house? You'll have to get prepared for that. And then you will be a location if you want to be. But to be a proper certified location, you have to have a 100% Mikey rig. It can't have other shit in there. It has to be everything that we sell. So you would have to have Fisher and Fisher speakers. And you've already got the Roland and you've already got the DAC. So you just need to change your speakers. Then you're a certified Mikey rig, And then I come by there when I'm in Chicago. I come by your place and I make sure that it's set right. I make sure that it's tuned. What is up? And then you also get any people that you send my way, Dan, that come to your house, you get a commission on a sale. If it turns into a sale, somebody that comes there, listens, you turn them over to me, I close the deal, you get a commission. Okay. Magico, say no more. I know, but we keep trying to give them a chance, man. They keep failing. What is up? Mikey and Tribe, we're all chilling, man. The 20 speaker system based on some Fourier equations. That's right. That I have tried to forget since my bachelor degrees 40 years ago. I know, dude. That's exactly. And he was telling me how it worked. And he actually gave me a piece of paper. I could go over it. It explains the tech and how it works. But I'm like, I just have to listen to it. Dart Seal was a good room. It was. Yep. Definitely was. Mikey, any idea what happened to Parasound? Have no idea, man. Haven't heard anything about them since that new guy became the head honcho. Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, brother. But, typically in sometimes it happens when there's a new guy hired, they go towards something else. Maybe they'll follow the money into architectural design, like architectural speakers and shit like that, architectural systems where they provide sound for commercial applications, which is more steady than hi-fi. And it's probably simpler. So nice hanging with you, brother. Yeah, Vooch, man. Good to hang with you too. I just mentioned your buddy, the doctor. I can't remember his name. Who was the one that told me that A3 Wagyu was the one that that people pick, and which is so funny in a typical double-edged sword way. People that are trying to just get the most expensive thing, get the A5, and then they get sick to their stomach, you know, because the shit's got so much fat in it, right? A3 being a sweet spot made perfect sense to me. When he said it, I was like, duh, totally makes sense. Like, so from now on, no more A5, only A3. And I rarely eat the stuff because of that, because I've tried it just to try it years back, you know, A5 to see what it's all about. And I'm like, oh, okay, yum, delicious. But I had like 2 little strips and then it was too much. Then it didn't start tasting good anymore. It was like, it tasted great the first bite. The second bite was a little less. Third bite, I was like, I don't want anymore, you know? So A3 makes perfect sense. And that will, next time I'm at a place where they've got A3, I think I'll make that choice. Audio research with Sonus Faber sounded good. Yeah, good. That's it. I don't really care about good. I'm after great. So, and with a room that expensive, it should be fucking great. It shouldn't be good. That's an awesome turntable. My ceiling fan is also electromagnetic. They're quiet as Frank. Yeah, so it was a crazy turntable, really wild, wacky, wild stuff. Wild, wacky stuff. Oh, you are correct, sir. You should do pizza reviews on YouTube. Seems to be an untapped market. Totally, man. That would be great, man. That would be a fun job. And especially if I could ride my motorcycle and tour and go do pizza reviews. That would be fun, man. I'd need a sidekick with me. We do pizza reviews. Mikey and somebody's pizza reviews. Your steak photos are making my ribeye in the sous vide right now looking really weak. Sorry, man. That was expensive shit, bro. That Japanese steak, that 185 was 550. The other ones were like 350. It was retarded expensive, but you know, it was a night to remember. It was like the conversation, the people that we had and everything, you know, that's really what it was all about because it was you know, it was expensive. So I guess you get what you pay for. What crypto is going to pop next? Don't ask me because I'm not the crypto guy, but what I hear is XRP, and I'm not a financial analyst and I'm not giving anybody advice. And I'm not suggesting you could lose all your freaking money if you play the crypto game. But I don't know, man. I don't figure it out myself. I talk to my clients that have been doing this for like 3 years, guys that bought XRP at, you know, 25 cents and shit like that, you know, and they watch this shit every day. They watch the news. They know what's happening with the lawsuits. They know what's happening with SEC. They know what's happening with all that shit. And then they advise me, just like I advise them on audio, they advise me on crypto. And I just buy the shit. I think there's 5 different ones I've got: Stellar Lumens, Hedera, XRP, Cardano, and Bitcoin. You know, I don't have any Ethereum. And none of them are meme coins. You know, they're all the coins that that have something behind them, that have a technology behind them. There's something attached to them. A meme coin is just something that is just made up, and there's no real company or technology or anything behind it, as I understand it. And then there's the other coins, crypto, that has technology backed behind it, and it goes up with I don't know, goes up with the technology or whatever. It's certain things that if that technology is adopted, which we don't know yet because things are still forming. But I think I don't think this cash less society thing is slowing down. I think there will be a point where cash is not around. At least the American dollar, at least the Federal Reserve note. The Federal Reserve note will probably go toast. There may be a treasury note. Hopefully we get a treasury note backed by gold. But the Federal Reserve note is like that's a risky thing, you know, right now. It seems like, anyways, more than it ever has been. So, you know, maybe gold is more solid. I don't know. I'm not a freaking investor. My Pequod's leftovers were delicious. Yeah, but you warm them up, brother. I didn't do that. Move the leftovers into sealed plastic containers and store them in the fridge. Reheats. Yeah, see, that's the clue, is reheats. We didn't reheat them. I ate them cold, and it was gross. But I ate the cold thin slices from Oh man, Ziggy, what was that place? Um, damn it. Barnaby's? Something like that. It was tavern pizza, man. It was good. They pinched the little edges of the crust. Oh, it was delicious, man. And it was good for breakfast. Don, you ate them. You ate them on your drive home, didn't you? That was the tavern style pizza that we had. Don was there with us. Heard Andy 770s today over the phone. You heard them over the phone and they sounded so good. Going to be a great listening room. You know it, man. This is in Lakeview, Lakeview Park. What is it? I'm trying to think of Andy's. Let's see. I think it's called Lakeview. Lakeview, Chicago's North Side. Yep, that's it. Lakeview. So, see if this is where I'm talking about. Yeah. So Lakeview area, Wrigleyville, Lakeview East, Lincoln Park. Yeah. So one's in Lincoln Park. We got one showroom in Lincoln Park, one in Lakeview. I didn't know Wrigleyville was up that high. I thought Wrigleyville was down in the city. Interesting. Okay. Anyways, Chicago's a trip, man. What a sprawl. Holy shit. It is just a sprawl. It goes forever and ever, and it's just flat. It's wild, wacky stuff. Oh, you are correct, sir. Pizza reviews, one bit. Everyone knows the rules. I think Portnoy has that covered. I don't know who that is. Dave Portnoy. Thanks for having me over today, Mike. The AA DAC is great. There he is. There he is, man. Thanks for coming by. Man, this guy has a very interesting job. Can we talk about it or is it top secret? Brandon has a killer job, a very important job, getting a hold of nuclear material, finding it, and then retiring it in the proper way so that it doesn't make its way overseas into dirty bombs or whatever. Pretty cool. I don't know if I can talk about it, but I just did. It's a cool job, man. I had the reverse impression of the Wilsons versus the Sonus Faber. Interesting. Whatever happened to Tad? You were a big fan. Have no idea, dude. Tad is the weirdest shit ever. Okay. I love Tad speakers. I think they're great. They are fucking great, right? They're great speakers. We had two front magazine on stereophile, two front covers. And Steve Guttenberg gushed over them, all this shit, and just no action. Nobody wants to call and buy them or whatever. I don't know what the deal is. It's really weird. I just see no action on the Tad front. So I still sell them. But Tad is a weird ass brand, bro. I just don't know. The Fisher and Fisher to me is something they're half the price of Tad and they're on the same league. They don't look the same, right? They're very brutalist looking. Like the Fisher and Fisher's Bauhaus brutalist design. It's very cool and masculine. I like it because of the way it is, straight lines. It's very cool, I think. They went so well in Andy's room. Let me show you what they went like in Andy's room, how great they looked, because they're gorgeous in this modern, art. He's got modern art in his, it's a very modern flat. Okay, here, let me show you. Like this. So look at those, man. That looks killer in there. Really looks great, man. Let me get another view. There's another view. Look how cool that looks. Really beautiful in that room. Trying to get this up here. Come on. Come on. There we go. Super, super cool, man. And they sounded phenomenal. I mean, even with with the little Blue Sound node, because that was the interim. We needed to use it real quick till he gets his AA DAC in a couple days. It was just phenomenal. So look, where Tad has left off, Fisher and Fisher has completely picked up. You're right. What I meant to say is that I thought a lot of equipment at the show was decent, and then you see the price tag and go, seriously, Fisher and Fisher are amazing for the price. Exactly. Yeah. What he's talking about is you go in and you see these floor standers and you're like, oh, those are pretty cool. How much are they? 125 grand. And you're like, holy shit, there's just 2 drivers in that thing, or whatever. So it's pretty wild. It's a good thing to go check out, because you really understand after a while that it doesn't just, if you just spend the money, you don't always get great stuff. Were you surprised that Wilson speakers could sound musical? I was. Did it change your mind on the brand? No, because what I haven't figured out is because like Magico sounded, what I need to know is, do the D'Agostinos sound syrupy and dark? That's what I haven't figured out yet. I don't know. But then again, I listened to a D'Agostino and Wilson combo at a dealer, and it was the D'Agostino integrated, and it sounded harsh, like I imagined. It didn't sound musical. So there's not been enough situations. I've heard it twice now where Wilson sounded musical, and both of them were Chronosonic XVX. Okay, what is that? $375,000 pair of speakers, and 250,000 D'Agostino monoblocks, and then whatever crazy DAC. One was with the Varese DAC, a $250,000 DAC from DCS. So one was $1 million system in order to hear Wilson sound musical, and the other was this system, which is probably another $1 million system to hear Wilson sound musical. So if it takes $1 million for Wilson's to sound musical, no, it hasn't changed. It's just no, I have not changed my mind on the brand. I think they're amazing speakers. They're beautiful. They're super amazing to look at. They're gobsmacking when you look at them. They're like, they command your attention when you come in the room. They're very intense and imposing and strong, so visually they're wicked. I don't know anything that's more visually striking that looks like it's going to kick your ass, right? You look at that thing, it looks like it's going to shoot laser beams at you and vaporize your ass. That's what Wilson looks like. It looks like a weapon of some sort, it's gnarly. But still the jury's still out for me. I respect the brand. I just don't want it. I don't want it for myself. And that's how I judge these things. Look, I could have any of these brands. Not mean selling them, but I could buy them, right? They'd be happy to sell them to me and have Mikey's speakers be their speakers. And they'd sell them to me at accommodation pricing, half price or whatever. But I still just, if they were great, I'd be working and trying to figure out if I wanted them, so it's just, still don't make me want them. A5 Wagyu is meant to be eaten as a delicacy. It's like 2 ounce and you're good. Had amazing A5 Wagyu in Japan, small portion and on to next course. Yes, exactly. That steak there, we were sharing it amongst 12 of us, 11 of us, because Jeff's a vegetarian. Did I say hi to Paul and check out PS Audio's new stuff? I did not say hi to Paul because I don't know Paul. And I mean, I would have said hi to him if I'd have seen him, but I just don't really care about that company. I was going to go in and listen, and the people I were with were like, don't even go in. It's not even worth it. It sucks. And they were not the only ones to tell me. I had other people come down and say PS Audio sounded like shit. So I didn't even go in the room. The people that I was with were like, don't even waste your time, brother. And I was like, all right. So I just walked on by. The more famous you are, the less effort you need to make, it seems. The more famous you are, the less effort you need to make, it seems. Oh, with the companies. Yeah, totally. The more famous the company is, the less effort they need to make. Totally. They don't even need to go to the shows, quite honestly. 200 rooms with hi-fi gear blasting. The power must be shit in that place. Yeah, everybody's got power conditioners for sure. Yeah, why was the Magico room in a tiny little room? It wasn't a tiny little room. Those are huge ass freaking speakers. That was a big suite with 2 levels. It actually had a spiral staircase in that thing that went up to a higher level. Um, so and the people that were there last year didn't have it. But yeah, so it wasn't a tiny room. It was probably it was maybe 20 by 40, something like that. Um would have liked to hear the new S2s. Yeah, who knows, man. But you were there, so it wasn't that tiny of a room. It was a tiny room for those speakers. The speakers were so big. Ego acquisition, 2 million, but the system was killed by them not fixing the room acoustics and getting size appropriate setup. Yeah, they overdid it. They got the speakers were too big, quite honestly. It's looking like I'll definitely be in the States about this time next year, Mikey. So we'll have to do something. Of course, man. For sure. I'm coming over for Expona. Okay, man. Eat your Wheaties. My legacy sounded really good in my open living room. I built a 14 by 22 listening room in my basement with an 8-foot drop ceiling. I'm trying to make my stereo sound good in the new room. Do you still have the legacies? Then get yourself a wavelet and fix it. I'd tour and eat pizzas with you. There you go, buddy. And you ride too. You know what, Andrew? When you were leaving, dude, when we left the show that day with Andy, you were right next to us at the stoplight, getting onto the on ramp of the freeway. I was like, there he is. Then we were right behind you on the on ramp. I was like, honk, man. And I'm like, no, it might freak him out. He's in his lane. I was waiting for you to go full knee to the pavement. But I saw you take off, man. You hit straight ground and took off and got out in traffic. But you were right next to us the whole time. You were sitting there idling, and you were right next to us. We were right next to you. We had no idea until the light turned green, and then you came and passed us. I was like, holy shit, he was by us the whole time next to us. So that was funny. So we'll do it, man. We'll do a motorcycle tour. You got that proper bike for touring. So I'll take my multi, man. My multi's just like that thing, bro. Well, you've got, so let's do it sometime, brother. And Jono's got a multi too, so that'll be cool. Rickler, what legacies do you have in your rig? Mark the Logger, man. Mark was with us, brother. If you want a Holstein steak, come to Scottyland. We have a population of 4 million Holsteins. That's right. Isn't it weird that they have a dairy cow that they eat for beef? But holy shit, does it taste different, man? It was weird. I mean, I was tasting. They were 4 totally different tasting beefs, and they all tasted fully like not gamey, but like you could tell what they ate almost. It's like, oh, this one eats, fucking hay or something, and this one probably eats some sort of, I don't know what, but what do they eat? They don't eat acorns, but it's almost like they ate nuts or something. They were kind of nutty, some of them, Don't say it. So yeah, Barnaby's. There it is. Okay. It's Barnaby's. Okay, so it was Barnaby's. That was good ass pizza, Zig. And they did pinch the crust because I saw on the bottom. I looked at it and it was a pinch crust. Pinch a loaf. They pinched a disc instead of pinching a loaf, man. But it was good shit. If you're in Chicago, try Barnaby's Tavern style, and it's fun, man. They were good. My favorite one was the sausage. Zig knows how to do it, man. It's sausage and green peppers, man. Or sausage and onion, or sausage and something. But just you start to put too much stuff on it and it just clouds it. You put too many veggies on it and it makes it wet, So Zig knows what he's doing with the pizza, with the schmuck pies, he calls them. The schmuck pie. We had some good schmuck pies, didn't we, Zig? In the UK, there were 2 cooks called the Old Biker Guys that traveled all over Europe, sampling and cooking meals, traveling on bikes. Great show. This is your next calling. No doubt, brother. Look, if my crypto fucking bonks and goes out there, you guys will see a whole different Mikey. I will be doing some shit that I don't care about. Like, I don't need to, it's nothing that I need to do for a living, like, I will do some crazy shit. It will be Mikey's travels. You know what? I got motomikey.com, Andrew. That one somebody tried to buy from me, but they couldn't, but I don't do anything with it. Barnaby's was one of my first jobs. Oh, no way, man. You're in Chicago, bro? Good seeing you, brother. Even if it was just for a few secs, hopefully we can still link up when you head to Lincoln. Yeah, Luan, it was good to see you, brother. Man, both you guys, and Scotty too, man. Scotty looks like he's stoned all the time, man. I can barely see his eyes. He's classic, man. I like that. I'd like to spend some more time with you guys. The World Fair. Yes, that's right, man. That sounds fun. Take it from a Chicago native. Tavern is what we eat. Deep dish once in a while, especially when people from out of state visit. Yes, exactly. That was it. That was it. Roscoe, where were you, man? Did you go to the show? Yeah, that cold Barnaby's pizza and those kalashkis. Yeah, kalachkis from Ziggy got me home. No stops. Yeah, man. Don went with left with some a little care package. Is this a restaurant site or if it's a hi-fi site? It's you know what it is? It's my fucking site. That's what it is. It's my fucking site. And if you don't like it, fucking get lost. Chill John, friends talking. Oh yeah, no, this dude's a tool, man. We know he's a troll that comes and fucks with us every once in a while. So we give it to him hard. He's from fucking Netherlands where they eat fucking goddamn what is that shit? Herring out of a fucking barrel. It's like eating vomit. It's disgusting. Ziggy and Mikey schmuck pie reviews, you know. Totally. Cool speakers, dude. Yes, they were interesting shit. Can a Puccini integrated drive 470s? Probably a Maestro better. Yeah. Puccini can drive 470s, yes. But, you know, I always like to make sure it's a little bit overdone. So the Maestro would probably be the good one. But if you have do you have a DAC, Andrew? Don't you have an A8? No, you had a 07. If you get an AA DAC and then you get the 100 watt AA 100, maybe you could do those together. Yeah, I it would work. I know it would work fine. So anyways, Mr. Powell got to meet in Chicago. Yes. Oh yes, there you are, buddy. Good to see you, man. I met you and your wife. Right? Is this the guy? It's very fun for me as a Dutch guy, owner of D'Agostino integrated old school JBLs, horns and DAC with Grimm MU1. Anything other than your stuff is bad. We Europeans listening, that anything other than my stuff is bad. No, man, there's tons of shit that's my stuff is the best for me. If you were listening and you had your head out of your ass, you would have heard that I just said I greatly respect Wilson. Do I like him? No. I don't say it's bad. I say I don't want them. That's all there is to it. So there's nothing that's bad because everybody likes something. You might like fat chicks. I don't. You might like it, you know? So it's not bad. They need loving too. So, you know, love whatever you need to love, brother. I don't care. Love a man if you want to. I don't care. It's all good. It's just not for me, but maybe you like it, and that's fine. If the rooms are small to average size, why would manufacturers put large speakers in them if it's going to energize the room too much? Because they're trying to show off. They're trying to, I call it big dicking. They try and big dick the other rooms by having the most expensive speakers. Those were $750,000 speakers. So they're bringing it there as a spectacle. However, they don't have a grip on the proper room. They need a big size giant room, not one of the suites on the top floors. They need the main floor a level or off to the side, the bank or the giant convention hall type rooms, you know, with like the 40-foot ceilings and shit. That's where you need those big magicals. But they're still trying to big dick. So they bring a $2 million sister and they cram it in a shoebox. And then they fuck up. And then everybody knows they fucked up, you know, and then they look silly to me. And it doesn't help our industry any at all. Every hi-fi show I go to, I find the last thing people spend time on is the room acoustics. Even a small amount of room acoustics placed correctly will make massive difference, but they just don't get it. Yeah, absolutely. It does. It does. I saw Andy go by me on I-94 moving along. Oh yeah, Andy hauls ass. Oh, you saw him on his motorcycle? Andy, the guy that lives in Chicago, Andy's sound factory. Um, he drives fast too. Holy shit, he drives fast through the city in his Jeep Liberty, man. I love the way he drives because it's great. He drives like the way my brain goes. That's like how fast he drives, you know. He's just going around people, you know, and just it's great. What did you think about the Pure Audio Project duet horn? Hard to tell, brother, because of the music they were playing when we were in there. That was in the cable guy's room. And they were playing this. I don't know if it was because of the guy that was in there that requested, but when we first came in there, it was like children's music. It was like children singing. I was like so perplexed by it. I'm like, remember Don? We went in there and they were playing children's music, and then we're like, what the fuck? Like, what should fucking change this? And then he changed it to that Navy song, which was like must have been from, it was Australian guys singing a Navy song, and it felt like it was from a play. You know, I felt like I'm listening to a soundtrack of a play of Australian sailormen singing about the seven seas and all that shit, you know? So that was weird. And then we're like, God damn it, play some regular music that we can relate to. So it was very hard to relate. Now, horns typically are good for certain things and not good for the others. Horns, typically, you throw rock and roll on and it's moida. It's just going to kill you, you know? So horns, you know, they're good for people that like to listen to acoustic or jazz or maybe classical or something like that. But you throw electric guitar on a horn, and it's a tough road to plow, unless you're avant-garde, which is one of the few. And even avant-garde, sometimes you have to be really careful, because a horn is a horn. It just does that. It has a lot of mid-range energy, and it projects that mid-range energy. You know, let's just say you were in the fast lane. He was not. He disappeared over the hard. That's how we ride, man. That's how we ride. Yeah, I'm out in the cheap seats west of Chicago. Yeah, well, you certainly ain't going to be east of Chicago, are you? Unless you're on a boat. But yeah, so southwest, you said. So are you Naperville? Is that where you are? Um, late to the party. What's up, Gildan? Welcome. Sausage, green peppers, and pepperoni. Yeah, I know pepperoni gives that little a little sort of tang to it. Although the thing I don't like about pepperoni, depending on which pepperoni, is it leaves that red grease. It puts red oil on the pizza. And it's like, man, you know, if it just didn't have that, I would be into it more. However, pepperoni on cold pizza is really good. I did I did across to Expona on Saturday, and one of the topics we spoke about was the way the industry is cannibalizing itself by overpricing. It's getting out of control. Yeah, I mean, it certainly is. And I think the US tariffs on at least for US. So I don't know who's leading this whole thing, but I think it's if you ask the manufacturers, they say the Chinese buyers are driving up the price. So at least for American product, Chinese buyers aren't going to be placing those orders so much with 125% tariffs or whatever. That shit's going to drop. Um, you know, but maybe they'll buy the Griffin or whatever other things, you know, that are not made in America. But Boulder's going to get kicked in the balls. And anybody else that's exporting out to China is going to get kicked in the balls on this one. And if they put all their eggs in that basket, it's unfortunate, you know. Nice to run into you at the show, if only for a quick hello. Which dude were you, brother? Remind me. And I'll know you're the dude, the 1911 dude. There you are, Twak. Okay. Yes, man. That was you. Right. Yes. Okay. I thought so. Thoughts on horizontal biamping with different amps. I like vertical biamping. Oh, I see what you're asking me. Yeah, that works. That works too. You can horizontal biamp with different amps for sure. You know, if you're using stereo amps, right? Um, the best way to go is 4 monoblocks, right? Um, But yeah, that works with different amps as long as you have an active crossover and you can attenuate the gain of those amps and match them in the mix. That's what I'll be doing next. Past Joliet Jake. They serve a mean pepper steak in Joliet. Sea shanty songs stuck in stereo. Is that what they are? Sea shanties? That's total sea shanty. That's fucking funny shit. Sea shanty. What's up, Mikey and Tribe? Cheers, Luther. What's up, Luth? Welcome, brother. Everybody has their favorite, but House of Pizza in St. Cloud blows them all away. There's only one best. Interesting. St. Cloud, dude. I'm from Minneapolis, bro. I'll be due back for a trip. I'm bringing my woman back to Minnesota to show her where I grew up. And House of Pizza. I don't know if we'll make it to St. Cloud, but that's very interesting. Let's take a look and see what the pie looks like. House of Pizza in St. Cloud. St. Cloud, Minnesota. Let's get some picture of those pies. Okay. It looks like a tavern pie. Oh, yeah, same kind of setup almost, it seems like. Whoops. Let me get some images. Let's see. Where's the images? Photos. Okay. Okay. I see what it looks like. It's okay. It looks all right. I mean, I'm sure it's delicious. It looks pretty good. This is what it looks like. This is what I'm looking at. I don't know, man. It looks good. I'd try it. It's tavern style. I like the little square pieces, man. I'd have to check it out. It's like a new thing now. We don't have that here. We don't have tavern pizza. You know, I wonder if we do. Maybe I need to search for it. I popped out of an elevator right in your face and realized it was you, so I gave you the yo Mikey. Oh, okay. That happens. People go by and go, hey Mikey, and then they don't stop. They just say, hey Mikey. And so I don't get to meet, but a lot of people stop me. I say, stop me, man, you know, and then they stop me. Mikey, would you consider to vertical biamp your big dog rig with 4 NAT audio amps? Yes, absolutely. I will consider that. I just, though, you know, I think if I'm gonna put something on the bass, I really wouldn't choose a tube amp for bass. You know, I know that a Class A solid state amp is gonna do bass better. So if I'm gonna vertical biamp with some, you know, with 4 amps, I'm gonna use 2 solid states, monos, and if I or half of a stereo amp, and then a tube amp for the mids and highs. You know, that's how I would do it. If I was gonna do it, and I think I was gonna. Thanks, Mikey. It was a great group of interesting guys and great fun. It was fun, Don. Yes, man. Don brought a bunch of great wine that we didn't even get to tap into. That was sad. I got to smoke 1 cigar. I brought 4 cigars. Cheesy, gooey, but not greasy. Okay, that's good. I'm with you on that. I'm embarrassed from my country, not sure what the hell they were playing. It was all good, man. It was all good and good fun. It's like I wanted to be an Australian sailor. I'm like, oh, sounds like a fun group of dudes. You know, let's go sailing. You know, it was like, fuck yeah, man. Let's fucking party. You know, but it was just kind of like, how do I judge a system on this? And it seems like a play. And I'm like, show tunes. You know, it was like, yeah, a little weird. I'm catching up with Kenny in October, mate. So that should be an interesting road trip over to Adelaide. Cool, man. I wish I was there. I was going to, but you were on the go and I don't wish to be rude. That's cool, man. I appreciate it. You know, not your target market. I just love this stuff. I don't have a target market, man. I have dudes I hang out with, and then we do audio anyways. So I have I have a target person. I have a target mentality, a target vibration of a human. That's really what we're building. And then, yeah, we listen to music and hi-fi, and we also, you know, do watches and firearms. Obviously, you're into firearms. You know, we do, you know, all sorts of other stuff. This is what he's got. He's got a 1911 that shoots these big fat wad cutters right here. These things are sick. That'll tear a man apart. That slug right there. And Bob knows. Oh man, there's the doggy barking at shit. I noticed lots of fans of Chris Stapleton Death Row song. Yeah, it's because it's bass. Just curious if anyone heard Eric Church The Snake. Has anyone else heard this track? I thought it's one for the Rake playlist. No, but we can check it out. My speaker cable beat a big dollar bowl speaker. Cool, man. Speaker cake. My speaker cake beat a big dollar bowl speaker. I have to like I have to like fully decipher that. It's like listening to a child. I have to just figure out what it is. My speaker cable beat a big dollar speaker cable. Oh, where fun, brother. Just get over here. I will, man. I will. We'll eat some pasties and box a couple kangaroos. I would be scared to get anywhere near a fucking kangaroo. They look like they whoop your ass. I think Mikey is a cheap dealer trying to take advantage of people who are sensitive for hard rule talk and think they're the best. It's a cult. The way he's shouting and he's so rude. That's it. You got me, dude. You nailed me, John. Spike her hard. Yeah, I'll bet you spike her hard. Yeah, maybe I am. I'm a cheap dealer, buddy. That's what I am. You got my number pinned. I keep selling. That's what's great about this, brother. Because I piss you guys off so bad is that I'm getting more and more successful, and my cult is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and my cult is going to eat the whole industry, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to be the Mikey religion, and everybody will praise me and bow to me. That's what's going on there, dude. Yeah, my cult's getting huge, brother. It's all over the place. Pretty soon it's going to be in Netherlands, and I'll start to eat your territory. What are your thoughts on Roland Dax? You don't seem to offer them or talk about them. The Roland Dax is great. It's just I don't know. Why don't I talk about them? Because I think I have other solutions that are better. But you make a good point, because what is the price point for that? I think the price point is $7,000, and that might be right in the sweet spot. I've had a vacant spot of Dax because I'm just concentrating on some different areas. But maybe that's a good point. Look at him. He will fight the frauds. Okay, let's take the gloves off, bro. Tell him I'm not even gonna engage you. If I was a fraud, I wouldn't be so popular. If I was a fraud, I would not be selling as much as I do. You're jealous. That's what I hear. I hear that little John Spikerhard is jealous. That's his problem. He's jealous. FFS. No, Trump is dying like you in the future. Oh, we're all dying in the future, brother. We are all dying. Great interview with the guy who runs Hey Now Hi-Fi in Australia, not in an audiophile podcast. Sounds like great guys, great discussion. The Fisher and Fishers. Oh yeah, absolutely, man. He Kenny and his wife got some Fisher and Fishers, and he loves them. And actually, that the company that sold him the Fisher and Fisher just took on Sound Labs, I think, too. So that's cool. We're making a presence down there. It's a lithium powered 2x100 watt 3-tier speaker that looks like a cake. I beat the bowl looking speaker that cost thousands. Lithium powered 2x100 3-tier speaker that looks like a cake. Oh, you're talking about the stack speaker things? Like you did one of those too? Let's see what we got here. We Europeans know Fisher and Fisher for years in Europe. They are good, but not the best. Well, they're the best over here in America, bro. Hey, Mikey, AA DAC looks great. How does it compare to the Roland Eris? I don't know. I've never compared the two, so I really don't know. Douche spike him hard off your channel. Nah, man. Let's keep him here. Let's keep him here, and we'll play with him, dude. We're like a cat. We got a mouse here, so we can bat him around a little bit. Let's let him come and we'll let him. It makes it fun for us, man. We'll bat him around. I'm rude. Yes, I'm rude. Woohoo! And people love me rude, bro. Looks like you've been found out, Mikey. Yeah, I'm busted. Ooh, I'm a fraud. I'm taking people's money and not sending anything, you know. Give me a break, bro. Uh, I get thanked and congratulated every single show. People stop me and thank me for what I'm doing because nobody does this in the industry. So, oh, look at Spiker Hard getting tough. That's so funny. Afraid like Trump. Trump, I don't think is afraid. And again, I'm not going to go into politics, so I'm going to skip that. But and let's see, we might we're just gonna douche spike him. So he's been douche spiked. He's just gonna disrupt the flow of what we're doing. So any time you start to bring politics and stuff and whatever, and then sorry, we're not going there. What's up, Mikey and Tribe from Iowa? Andy, what's going on, buddy? Did you get those roll-ins yet? Those things are big daddies, man. Dan DeBaca calling in from the Big Island. Aloha. Also interesting article interview with Vandersteen on the misconceptions of multi-driver speakers. Where was that? That'd be interesting to look at. Tell it like it is, Mikey. Greets from Cape Town, 4:20 a.m. Holy shit. 420, man. What are you doing awake? I'm fucking with you. You're probably up for work. I'm digging the show. Right on, man. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Stevan. You're an asset to the industry. You have time for people, give honest opinions, and have great hair. Thanks, Carlos. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's more about, it's more than selling to me gear. You know, I put together groups of people is what I do, and we have a good time together, and then we do hi-fi, you know, but that's really not the best part of what we do. You know, it's not the best part of what we do. Moeller says, yeah, Mikey, sure, big old fraud, took my money, sent me speakers, answers all my questions whenever I call. Yep, a fraud. Yeah, LOL. Spikerhard's not going to get any traction. Spikerhard is a shill. I'll tell you who Spikerhard is. Spikerhard is somebody that's in the industry that is hiding behind that name, that is jealous of what I'm doing. That's exactly who it is. I can already tell you. It's somebody that is a shill. It's a fake, and they're upset with what I'm doing because it's highly unlikely that they are even in Denmark. They're there to talk shit, you know, and they can pound sand. Yeah, speaking of Andy, have we heard how he likes his Roland yet? Oh yeah, he loves it, man. How cool to pull a demo unit from Expona. Yeah, it was brand new. It wasn't a demo unit. That was brand new. It wasn't even played. That thing had 0 hours on it sitting on the shelf. So that went straight to Andy. And it was a huge difference, man. Unbelievably how good it sounded when we changed out the amps. It was a big difference. Changed out from Macintosh, but we had, in the interim, we had a little shit ass Sonance piece of shit, and it's just funny. You put in these amp, you realize how much a difference a good amp and a cheap amp, how much the difference is. Appreciate the hug goodbye. Yeah, man. I hug. I'm a hugger. You know, look out. Mikey, you're just straight. The rest drink or eat snake oil. Yeah, man. You know, it's not that hard. It's like, look, all I have to do is be the good guy, and I've already got a total edge on everybody in the industry. All I have to do is know what I'm doing, set you guys up straight, bend over backwards to take care of you, don't nickel and dime the shit out of you, be a good guy, handle good brands, don't overcharge, and bam, I'm successful, you know, and do what I'm doing, which is replicating these locations across the United States, where we will have our own locations with certified hi-fi tribe rigs, which will be and far deeper than any dealer network. Hey, Mikey, sorry I missed you at Expona. Still want to come and listen to the Fishers someday and talk some crypto. Yeah, man. Anytime, buddy. Anytime. I can attest. Ernest says, I can attest you went 1,000% above. I even offered to pay you more and you said no. It was the right thing to do. Amazing. There you go, Ernest. Thank you for your business, man. I appreciate it. Rob Clendenning, look at those brands like Borson selling 56K stand mount speakers. Ludicrous. Well, I mean, there's the trophy acquisition buyer out there, and it is a very real market, and they make, and so somebody's got to make stuff for them, you know. And like I said, I don't even think the people that really spend through the nose that buy $1 million systems, I don't think they care that it sounds that good. I just think they care that it shows well when they bring people over. Get to take on the rest of the world too. All audio dealers are snakes. Yeah, generally speaking, they are. But there are some good ones. There are some good ones. Look at Angie up in Canada. She's a straight shooter. She isn't going to sell you anything you don't need. She has whatever it is that floats your boat. She sells a little different than me because she sells something for everybody, where I don't sell something for everybody. I sell you guys what I like best, and that's why you guys come to me. Rather than what I'm just not gonna sell everything so that everybody can have whatever they want, kind of thing. It's like how do I explain this without it sounding bad? It's like look, if you want to eat, you can go to Cheesecake Factory, right? And you can get whatever the fuck you want. You can get tacos, you can get spaghetti, you can get pizza, you can get a salad, you can get Chinese food, you can get Mexican, you can get freaking anything you want. Okay. And it's just like, what do you feel like right now? Right. Or you can go to a Michelin rated chef that has a prefix menu, and you go there and you have zero choice. You just get, when you put all your trust into this guy because he's high level, and then you just eat what he's got for you. And I'm the Michelin chef. So, but it doesn't matter. Either way can have good people. It doesn't mean that one way is bad or one way is right. It's just a different way of doing things. And I figure my clients don't need to learn all this shit and try and all this stuff. I take all that out of it for you so that you don't have to take years of your life learning about hi-fi. Like, I figure you don't have the time or the desire to do that shit. Like, you just want to get through it, check it off the list, like know that you're getting the killer shit, and then just check it off and then do something else. Don't have to keep thinking about it. And honestly, I thought I was going to have to think about hi-fi the rest of my life. I thought it was going to be just a thing that I always thought about, that I always was doing something with, that I was always changing something, that I had accepted the fact that was going to be like that for life. And the thing that changed it was the Playback Designs DAC. That was that one freaking piece. And it's the weirdest thing, but I can nail it to that one piece, because once that happened, it took Mikey off the OCD tail chase. If you watch my channel from the beginning all the way forward, you will see a evolution of Mikey. Now I'm about simplicity. I'm about just doing it right, not going hyper on it, not going into all the tweaks and all the crazy shit. Because look, there's only a certain amount of time that we have in life. And the less time we spend dinking around with things, the more we can spend with other people enjoying camaraderie and fellowship. I think as we get older, you're going to realize that's where the value is the friendships, the relationships that you make being with other people, not sitting alone listening to a fucking stereo system, right? You're not going to sit in your deathbed and be like, I'm really glad I sat alone fucking dinking around with my audio system all those years when I could have been with my family, but I was just in my room trading shit out, not ever going out, not doing social things with people, or whatever. I find it far more valuable to get this shit checked off the list and then forget about it, man. Let's go do other things. Let's have activities that we do and that we go outside the house, God forbid. Where are we? Aren't dealers struggling in the current market, and probably more so with Trump's tariffs? I think the manufacturers are probably going to struggle more with Trump's tariff, especially the manufacturers that are shipping overseas, than especially the ones that were shipping to China. A lot of American products are sold ton to China, to the rich people in China. And that's what drives the price up, that they all say. So the big American iron is going to get hurt. Boulder is probably the poster child for getting fucked by this tariffs. I can't imagine like the amount of Chinese buyers that are not going to buy that shit now. Maybe they will still. Maybe they're so rich it doesn't matter. Maybe that'll make them even more unique and they'll dig it even more is if they pay more for tariffs so that there's more special that they have the shit that they had to pay through the nose on tariffs for. You never know. Ego is a heavy thing. But dealers are struggling, I think, typically just because their people are dying out, man. It's a new world. The people that they're used to selling to are not around, or they're dying off, man. And new people are coming up that are going to take business away. There's a new breed of sellers. I'm one of them, and I connect with the younger crowd, people like Andrew, in his 30s, and Jared in his 30s, and other guys in their 30s that aren't going to listen to these old gray bald guys that think they're so elitist or whatever. They're just not going to connect with the younger group that I can connect with. So they're going to be replaced. So the dealers and the whole dealership and having a place you go in and listen, it just, in many ways, it doesn't make sense. Now, it does make sense um, for the trophy acquisition buyer, okay? For the non-audiophile, I make sense for the audiophile, for the people that care about music. For the people that don't care about music, that just care about the trophy acquisition, that is the buyer that's going to keep the dealers, the brick and mortars in business, because people need to come in and look at those extravagant systems and be blown away and then buy them. And I don't have the space nor the desire to sell to the non-audiophiles that are just trophy acquisition buyers that just, boss you around and then you just kind of run around after them for their money. No, I'm not, I don't play that game. I don't kiss ass to get a sale. I deal with people regularly. I talk with them just like regular people, like peers, and they talk to me that way. And that's how we get along. So I mean, I don't know. I think the current brick and mortars will probably have to change their tack and change their game a little bit. But who knows? You have to be able to reach people. And in this day and age, it's more about, reaching people and being a good guy. Don't trust Triangle Art. He was talking shit about Nat Audio. He should try playing some music in his room. Yeah, I won't expand on that. I won't expand on that. There's plenty of reputation in the industry. And there's plenty of I'm gonna be quiet about that. American Sound of Canada, the real deal. Yes, absolutely. Angie's good shit, man. She is one of us. Agree, some good, but when they only synergize, only Siders, there, what is it? What Siderize? What's Siderize? Their own brands, it kills the music. Okay, I don't know what that means. Synergize. Okay. What they only synergize their own brands, it kills the music. What does that mean? I don't know exactly what that means. That's the only reason this shit is being made and sold, because as you say, there's a market for it. Yeah, somebody's got to be buying it or they wouldn't make it. A good sound check is treat people the way you'd want to be treated. Easy. Yeah. I'm also into food, cameras, etc. It takes time for you to trust a person who is honest. Absolutely, man. I mean, people watch my channels for years, and they're like, you used to seem like kind of a hard-nosed dude, like, real, like, maybe like that dude was talking about, boisterous, loud, and cocky, and smoking cigars and whatever. But when they get to know me, they go, okay, man, he's fed up with the industry. I've got resentment towards the industry, so I'm fed up. I'm sick of the bullshit. So you hear it, and I'm real. And when you meet me, I'm the same guy. I'm the same dude that I am right now, and so, you can use that to either trust me or not. Our new Type 6 prototype has double wall hex 2 carbon fiber with honeycomb sandwich. Honeycomb is very expensive. No honeycomb at the show. Oh, yes, right. Yep, I've heard of that material. I've heard of that material. Yeah, I won't go any further. I know somebody also experimenting with that honeycomb material. Mikey, I don't want to be a downer, but I had to put down my schnauzer of 13 years, aggressive cancer. Can I get a thought from Mac, the best dog? Oh, man, I'm so sorry, Wes. So let's all take a moment of silence for Wes's schnauzer, Mac, the best doggy there ever was. And Mac has gone to the Rainbow Bridge up in the sky. And he's in a better place. He's not suffering from his cancer. We're so sorry, Wes. Let's take a moment of silence. Okay, so that moment of silence was for Mac, the best dog. Mac, the best doggy there was. We're so sorry, Wes. Credible wisdom on success, bro. I literally just wrote that down. I already forgot. You'll have to remind me, man. Friendships happen here on your channel. Yes, your presence and way forward is honest and obviously damn entertaining. Look, man, this is no fun unless it's entertaining. You know, I mean, life is no fun unless it's entertaining. So I poke fun at shit. I make fun of stuff, even things that I don't mean. You know, I just like will laugh at certain things. That is probably wrong sometimes, maybe politically incorrect, maybe, you know, but we're just making, we're having fun with it. We're playing life on a lighthearted note, you know. We'll tease each other, you know, shit like that, because it's fun, you know. It's like we make each other laugh. Just hang around with my crew, man, and you'll see it. You'll see what happens. But yeah, you're right. And friendships are what's important to me. You know, there was a long time ago, there was an importer that was trying to get a brand from me, and he said to the guy, you know, to the manufacturer, you know, Mikey likes to make friends. I don't need to make friends. I just sell. That's what I'm here for, just to sell. Mikey's trying to make friends. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, then fine, go see how that works for you. Go with just your prime motive is to sell when you talk to people, and you're not trying to make a friend, you're just trying to sell that person. You know, that's a different vibe that comes across different. And all of you guys know those dealers that are just, all they want is your sale. They don't really give a shit about you. They just want your money, you know? And that's something that's ingrained. That's in a person's DNA. They really don't give a fuck about making friends. I actually do, because then I've got a big posse. I've got a fam wherever I go. There's fam, you know, I can hang out with people in any city, in any state. I just holler and we hang out. That's cooler to me than anything. You know, it just so happens hi-fi is my tool to build my family. So it's a I know it sounds weird, but that's more important to me. That's how I will leave. And it's not like I'm doing this to leave a legacy, but if I can die and I can leave something behind that is a group, an enthusiast group, a tribe that continues on after I'm dead, something that has good principles and all that kind of shit, and I helped to found it, that's awesome, man. Then I did my job well on this planet, you know. And the entertainment, yeah, I like to be a smartass. I'm a class clown. Mikey has reached enlightenment. I don't know, man. I'm still trying. Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports gave an 8.9 score to Robert's Pizza Dough out of Chicago. Pizza and Dough. It's a New York style pizza made in Chicago. What for? Go to fucking Chicago. Go to New York. But did you try it? Is it good? Mikey does not want to believe that Trump's tariffs will hugely make prices in the U.S. very expensive. It doesn't matter, dude. We're so rich we can afford it. I'm an investment advisor. You are so right on, Terry. Your investment, you're so right on tariffs. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. We use internal cameras and smoke to study airflow in cabinet construction. Oh, cool. What company is it, Jimmy Dean? JD. Thoughts about synergistic research and Ted Denny from Expona. I didn't hear his room. Ted Denny's an ambitious guy, and he's got interesting products. Lightning Pro D, are you his brothers or a baptized cult believer? Everybody's baptized cult believer, bro. I mean, you don't get it. You don't seem to get it. We outnumber you 10-1, 100-1. We outnumber you, and we're all part of the same secret society. and you don't even know who we are. You don't know where we are, but we're everywhere. Thoughts on Fez audio out of Poland? Looks like good tube gear. I've never heard about it, but sounds cool. And Lennox Perry in Europe, Fez Audio is one of the top startups. Very good in tube. Oh, great. Like we take your word to mean anything. Sorry for your loss. Yep. Sorry for your loss for sure. Let's see. Yep. Sorry for your loss. The audio file, what TAS was, the absolute sound was raving about every manufacturer at Expona who buys ads and the absolute sound. What's up with that? What's up with that is it's tit for tat. And that's funny. If we could, we should make a chart. We should maybe you could do it, Dan. We could talk about every brand that they talk about and then show a picture of the ad in the magazine and just say, and then I'll do a video on it. If you make the chart, I'll make a video on it. Fair enough. How was that close? That would be funny. That would be funny because it's no surprise, brother. It's no surprise. Wes and his best friend Max. Yeah, man, dogs are the best. I love doggies. I'm a huge dog person. Dan, that's called selling out. Yeah, that's what they do. Rest in peace, Mac. Coming from Lightning Pro D. I think the industry is changing over to Uber Class D designs. Unfortunately, due to the technology involved, manufacturers can't overcharge such designs because they're generally all IC chips. Yeah, it's true, but you know what? The Class D designs are perfect and sterile. In many ways, they don't have the soul that the older, distortion-laden audio has. I know you know that. Shane, I know. I know that you know that I know that you know. Good evening, peeps. Slap Mikey a like. Yeah, everybody. Slap it up. Give me a like. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. I don't ask that enough. I believe both ATC rooms were showcasing active loudspeakers. Okay, cool. My new name for Mikey, Satisfied Hi-Fi Guy. Yeah, totally. Right? Across the lines, Hi-Fi Guy. Look at all this damn dog hair I have on my fucking shirt. That dog, we were watching a dog right now and he sheds like crazy. And I lay down and there's hair everywhere. Much nicer to sell to friends, or to make friends than to make friends over sale. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I become friends with my peeps and then I hook a friend up. So how am I gonna take advantage of somebody that's a friend of mine? That's the whole thing. It's just I'd rather have buddies and hook my buddies up and hang out with my buddies. So that's what I do. And that's kind of the edge. Rest in peace, Max, from Andrew, who has two pitties. Man, I feel that moment of silence. Very good, Mikey. That dog Max is jumping around and playing with all the other doggies. And he probably got a good bitch up there to play with. Yeah, he does. Max is partying down. Max is making puppies. Man, I feel that moment of silence. Very good. Yep, we just did that. Was great to run into the hallway, Mikey. Hey, Professor Jim. Great to see the video from Shane of my good buddy Charles Kermis. Thanks. Cheers to all, Professor Jim. Haven't really decided yet. It's a side hobby. Many focused on new technology devices. We turn out about 400 plus single prototypes per year, many with the same bulk driver to study max SPL from the design. Far out, man. Why don't you have me over? I'll come and I want to see what you're doing. Where are you? If you can't love the one you want, love the one you're with. Love your tribal concept, Mikey. Yes, brother. You're part of it. Thanks, everybody, says Wes. Rest in peace, Mac. Yeah, buddy. Mac's got the tribe praying for him and giving him proper respect. Good night, all. Time for audio listening. Yeah, I know. I have to go too. I got an hour and 48. So if anybody's got some last burning desires, just tell me and I'll do it. Carlos refuses to get on the merry-go-round. Up gracious sickness in the hi-fi industry. I just have a budget and pick the best equipment I can afford without going broke and be happy. There you go, man. That's it. That's the whole deal. Holler if I can be of service to you. So that's it. I'm going to run, and then I will see you all on Sunday. So everybody have a happy week, a good Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you at the end of the weekend. All right, everybody. See you.